Hey everybody, Paul here. Hey, so we've got our accelerator partially in here. We're currently in the process of installing it. I just stopped for a minute for lunch here. Okay, so we got it in there. We have a safety strap there, you can see. Just goes up and out the top and down and out the front. I'll show you how else I have it held in. Now what I did is I just used our shop crane, placed it on these boards, and put it in. It wasn't too difficult. It took like a couple minutes only. The hard part was getting this stuff in. So we've got our outside bearing in on the one side here, this one. So what I did is I put it in the vise, just like I'm doing here with a rag so we don't scratch this surface gently. Put the studs in, and it's long side out, short side in. Tighten them up. Loctite a little on each one. 2 nuts, just use 2 nuts here. Put each one on all the way down. Tightened it just a little bit and then tightened the 2 nuts together and then snugged in our studs. So here's our housing, which has now tight bolts in it. So you can see inside the housing we have space for a bearing, a snap ring, space for a seal, and another snap ring. And that's how this works. So what we have is our housing sits like this. We got to remember which way to put it because it has a grease fitting here somewhere. There's our grease hole. So this has to go towards the back of the machine. So it will sit like this inside there, I believe, with it on the bottom here. I think. I'll double check. But then here's our bearing. Very nice. It's actually like it can roll a bit like this. So this is our bearing. And then, so what we'll do is we'll put the housing on. We have one more piece in here. I better take, where's my light? Here it is here. We have one more piece that you gotta make sure fits properly. Where can I put this thing? Right here. So this here ring slides on the shaft. Now make sure it actually slides over top of this here. So I cleaned this up a bit with a wire wheel because I had a little bit of too much paint and there was a little ding on the bottom here for some reason, but just make sure that this thing actually slides on the whole way. I'm going to take a measurement from here and measure the depth later to make sure it fits. So we put this on, that's done. Then we can put our housing on the shaft. And then once the housing is on there, we can actually get it, well, we'll put the housing on. We'll pre-grease our bearing. We'll take a grease needle or something and fill this right full of grease everywhere all the way around. And then we'll fill the back side of the housing here first. The bottom, I'd say half, from here to here. I don't know, maybe I might not do half. Actually I won't. I'm not going to do half, no. We'll use a grease gun later to fill the housing. I'll put a little bit though. I still will put a little bit down in the bottom here. I won't fill it right full. We'll put our housing on, so we'll fill it with grease after it's on there. Put our bearing into here. Then the first snap ring. Then the seal. And the second snap ring. But before we put the seal and the snap ring in, or can we put this? Yeah, we can put the seal in actually. Yeah, never mind. We can put the seal in because this is actually the last piece that goes on. This slides over the shaft. And then that's actually what the seal fits in, is that piece. The seal doesn't actually fit on the shaft. The seal rides on here, which is nice so that it doesn't wear our shaft down. And then I'm gonna grease it, put a grease nipple in here. Take a grease gun, grease the snot out of her. Call her good. Yep. And I'll show you something about the other housing here. So we have an old one here just on the floor I brought in quick second. Now this is a tapered piece. It's got a taper to it with a locking ring. Like this it goes. And then of course our nut, right? That's how that works. But here's our bearing. This is the outside. A couple things about this bearing here. So the way this goes, this is down, by the way. It's got a little cut in the housing and a flat surface. So you can see the other side doesn't have it. This is down. Make sure that that's down. It won't fit together if it's not. Yeah, it probably won't fit together, but make sure that that's down. So if this is in and that's down, this is up. The way this fits is this goes from the inside like this. Then our ring. And then our nut. So this is how this actually comes in the package. So when you put this together, you have to push on this piece. You can't push on the bearing housing because you'll just push the taper on and it'll just get tighter and stop moving. So that's a bit of a predicament. So I had to push on here to get this in. Not the housing. You can't push on the housing because it just doesn't fit that way. So we got this in there semi in there. And we have our little plastic piece here that fits there. We'll go inside the housing here. I'll show you. Grab my light. And then I'm going to have lunch. Because I am tired of crawling in and out of here 100 times for a 5-minute break. Okay, so we have these plastic things here. You can see one hole is further to the back than the other. Like this is the whole thing here. And you can see one hole is farther back than the other. Make sure that corresponds with here. The top hole is further back and the bottom hole is further ahead. So we make sure when we put this piece in here that the top hole is further back. Put it in the right way. It would go like this, right? So there's one on the outside here, you can see. It's already on there. And then there's one on the inside that would go here. Right? And then this piece. Is this the right one? Yeah. And then this piece. And that's our adjustment thing. Would just go in here like this. And that's how that all fits. And then of course the springs, these little thin flat washers here, they're actually on these nuts already. And then some nuts. Let me tighten it up. And same on both sides. Both sides are the same, so we're gonna have to put that plastic on, put the housing on the shaft, get it in the stud holes, get it in there, get a couple nuts on it, get it tight, and then yeah, start working on it. And oh, I gotta do a little more polishing. I see I missed a spot with my emery cloth there. Inside there's a little bit of rust. I just want to clean that up. Take a second. All right, that's that for so far. So we'll get into it here and probably post another video here later. Bye.